He told me his daughter was more important than every other child in the school. Our storyteller works in the office of a busy elementary school, and it was the single most chaotic day of the year, the first day. Parents were frustrated, a brand new transportation app was glitching, and she was the one trying to hold it all together. A man walks in, cuts right in front of 3 other waiting parents, and marches straight to her desk. He had a simple question about his daughter's bus stop. But what he demanded next left the entire office completely silent. Imagine the scene. It's the first morning of a new school year. The air in the office is thick with a unique blend of excitement and pure, unadulterated stress. Phones are ringing off the hook. A line of confused parents snakes out the door, each one clutching a piece of paper with a question. And at the center of this storm is our storyteller, the school's transportation coordinator. Her job is to make sure every single child gets to and from school safely. But today, a new scheduling app, which was supposed to make everything easier, had decided to crash and burn. It was a mess. Parents were, understandably, at the end of their ropes. And so was she. She's finally getting the line down, helping one parent at a time, when the office door swings open again. In walks a man who moves with a purpose that borders on aggression. He doesn't look at the line. He doesn't acknowledge the other 3 parents patiently waiting their turn. He just walks directly to her desk, planting his hands on the edge as if to claim it. This happens sometimes. People are in a hurry, so she takes a breath, ready to help. The man even seems polite, at first. "Excuse me," he starts, his voice calm. "I was wondering why my child's bus stop is at the corner of her street?" A perfectly reasonable question on a day like today. She gives him a professional smile. "Of course, sir. Can I have your child's name and your address?" He gives her the information, and she turns to her computer, typing it in. The faulty system groans, but eventually, the route map loads on her screen. She finds his house. Then she finds the designated bus stop. And she just stares. She zooms in, then zooms out. She checks the address again. There's no mistake. The bus stop is less than 200 feet away from his front door. It is, quite literally, a 30-second walk down the block. She's completely dumbfounded. She looks from the screen back to him, trying to rearrange her face into something resembling helpful customer service. "I'm sorry," she says carefully, "what was the problem you were having?" And here's where it all goes off the rails. "I was wondering," he says, his polite tone starting to fray at the edges, "why the stop wasn't in front of my house." She blinks. "Sir, most bus stops aren't directly in front of families' houses. It's a simple statement of fact. A logistical reality." But he doesn't hear logistics. He hears an argument. "And what am I supposed to do when it's raining?" he demands. "Or snowing? When my child needs to come home on the bus? It would be so much easier for me to just get her off the bus and take her right into the house." He leans in a little closer, his voice rising. "Am I supposed to wait 20 to 30 minutes out in the cold for her? 20 to 30 minutes? For a bus that runs on a schedule? A 30-second walk?" The absurdity of it hits her like a physical blow. And in that split second, a dozen sharp replies flash through her mind. She wanted to say, "Sir, have you ever heard of a magical invention called an umbrella?" She wanted to tell him that he was unbelievably lucky his stop was this close, that some parents in this district had to walk their kids 3 entire blocks, uphill, to get to their stop, and they did it without complaint. But she didn't. She was a professional. She just stared at him for a second, the silence stretching. He takes her silence as an invitation to press his point. "So," he says, impatiently, "why isn't the stop in front of my house?" She can feel the eyes of the other parents on her back. She can feel their shared disbelief. "Sir," she says, her own patience wearing dangerously thin, "we have over 400 students in this school. If we put a bus stop in front of every single student's house, your child would never get home. The bus ride would take hours." She thinks this is it. The undeniable, logical reason that will finally get through to him. She is wrong. "But what about her safety?" he fires back. "The safety of our students is our absolute top priority," she begins, launching into her practiced line, "which is why we—" He cuts her off, his voice now loud enough for the whole office to hear. "Then why is the stop not in front of my house?" She feels like she's in a nightmare loop. "As I just said," she repeats, trying to keep her